Welcome, guys. Hopefully you can see us here. Welcome to Filmmaking Times Live. I'm Tom Antos, and we got a guest here today, Young Lee. And also we got Lucas as usual. Today's show is actually kind of well, we're actually all over the place. I'm in New York. Young, you're in LA, and Lucas. Where is that? Here in the. All right, okay, it's the mystery location. Okay. All right, okay. And Lucas, can you just confirm we are streaming and everything? Because today my mobile setup does not allow me to. Yeah. All right, okay. So Young, I want to introduce you quickly. So for those of you who've been following my YouTube channel for a while, you probably recognize Young because we used to do a lot of cool stuff before he went Mr. Hollywood on me. But basically, yeah, Young Lee is a filmmaker. That's how I call you. You have your own areas of expertise, which we can kind of delve into after. But we started. Well, I started working with Young, years ago because I met him at a YouTube meetup. It was in Toronto. I forget what year that was in. I don't know if you remember, Young. It was. Yeah, something like that. So that's when I met him. And I just saw, basically I got interested because he was doing some really cool YouTube videos with like actions, stunts, that kind of stuff, like some martial arts too. And so I just wanted to collaborate with him, and it ended up that long story short, did a whole bunch of cool videos. Young did a lot of cool content, and then he went off and started working on Hollywood films, following his passion. So, what is it that you do right now, Young? Okay. Oh, okay, okay, okay. Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh, really? Okay, okay. My bad. Okay, so let me hold on. Let me do a quick switcheroo here. That's weird. It's showing all of it. I don't know. Young, can you see something? It's so weird. I just did a test and it was showing it's okay. So I don't know. Can you, Lucas? Lucas? Can you hear on YouTube? No. So you can hear me talking? Sorry, guys. I'm like on location doing this from my little laptop, and I know. uh, can you confirmation, Lucas? Really? That's okay. That is so weird. All right, I don't know what to do. Let me check then. Let me check something. People will be able to see my settings here, but it's yeah, I don't know. Yeah, speaker. Okay, what about now? Can you guys hear us? Young, can... No, I know, but okay, can you hear me? Can you hear Young? Sing for us, Young. Entertain us while we're... Oh, I remember. Remember those days. Oh, really? Oh, okay, okay.
So I don't really, yeah, I don't really listen to pop music. I have those catchy tunes stuck in my head.
All right.
Hmm.
I don't know. Hopefully, you guys can hear now.
No,
Young.
still nobody's saying that they can hear.
They can't. They can.
No, they cannot. Still, only Tom. Tom, for some reason, only you can be
Right.
heard. There's something, I guess, weird with Hangouts.
Yeah,
You
I
want to
don't
do
know.
it on Discord?
On what?
Discord.
I don't know what that is.
It's like a video game app. It's fucking way better than Google Hangouts.
Oh,
I think
yeah.
I heard. I think I heard. I think
Okay,
I know
okay.
here.
Okay, okay. So I think we're back. I changed one setting. Hopefully that fixes it.
Yeah.
So anyway,
yeah.
so let me just look. You Lucas, keep an eye out for that. Make sure that we are good and people can hear us. And apologies. Like I said, I'm on location. If there are any problems, we'll try to fix it again. But hopefully, like I said, when I'm not in my home studio, so I don't have my usual fancy setup. I'm just here on my little laptop. Anyway, so today's show we're talking to Young Lee. Here he is, and I'll do a quick introduction again because apparently you guys couldn't hear. So Young Lee, you guys have been following my YouTube channel, has you probably recognize him because we've done a whole bunch of videos before together. And Young, the way I met Young is on actually a YouTube meetup in Toronto. That was in 2000 something.
2011, 7 years ago.
2011. Okay. So yeah, and I met him because he was I guess at that point, Young, you were starting out, right?
Yeah, I was starting out.
Like, what would be your level of your experience at that point? Would you say?
As a filmmaker, I would say like 0.
0. Okay. Well, I didn't think it was 0 because I was impressed by. Remember, you were doing really cool action, basically stuff on YouTube. Action, some kind of fight choreography, that kind of stuff. So I really liked it, and I basically decided to get in touch with you. Well, we started talking there, and we kind of set up. I remember some video collaborations we worked. What was the first one? I think it was the Dragon Ball. What was
Dragon Ball one, yeah.
Yeah, and then we did a whole bunch of ones. So I don't bacon bootleggers and stuff like that. Yeah, so you guys can see those videos that we did years ago on my YouTube channel, on Young's channel. All of the links are provided in the description. And that's kind of how me and Young started our collaboration together. But then afterwards, Young basically went Mr. Hollywood on us, and the rest is history. He was gone. So what did you do after? Like, when did you transition? Kind of because you always, I guess you used YouTube as a stepping stone, right?
Well, that wasn't the original intention.
Okay, so maybe let's start from the beginning, kind of just to give people an idea of maybe what you were aiming for when you were starting out getting into filmmaking, and also what were your goal, what were your expectations, and how things turned out differently.
Sorry, I'm going to interrupt. Just if you could mention, because I don't think people didn't hear it before when you said it. What was the last project you worked on, so people kind of can know?
I was just gonna say that. Yeah, the last project I worked on was Solo, a Star Wars movie, and I currently work as an action designer / stunt-viz designer in developing all the action sequences for films that I work on. So that being last one being Solo, a Star Wars story, and I was there for pre-production and production, just helping to build all the action sequences from ground up. And then the film before that I worked on was Kingsman 2, Golden Circle. So yeah, I've been mentored. I've been very fortunate to be mentored by Brad Allan, who is the action director and second unit director for those movies. And he's really taught me a lot. But winding way back before all this Hollywood stuff, let's go back to the OG story.
So you started on YouTube, right? You were
I had no clue. Like when I met you, I had no clue what I was doing, and that's why I was like, oh my god, this guy. I was like, fuck, this guy knows. I'm not allowed to swear at shit.
Yeah, don't worry, it's not a PG.
Like Tom, this guy Tom knows what he's doing. I need to learn from him. And no, seriously, like making videos together with you, and also you gave me, I guess, the belief. You had some sort of belief in me that gave me a lot to start with. When I had like literally, I didn't know any filmmakers when I started. I just had a bunch of friends who just wanted to help me make these fun videos. So, you know, when we met, it really made a difference, because I remember I showed you one of my videos. I thought it was shit, and then and then you're like, "No, man, this is awesome. You gotta post it." Because I almost wasn't gonna post it, and it turned out to be my first viral
like
video.
A huge hit. Yeah, it was very good.
Yeah,
and again, I would encourage you guys, if you want to check out, like, whether it's our early collaborations that we're doing with Young, or the videos he's mentioning right now. His YouTube channel is still there, so you can check out those cool videos that he has there. And that was a video I remember you did from Comic-Con or something like that?
Yeah, it was like some anime. It was an anime convention called Anime North in Toronto.
And I remember you just showed up with the camera, just getting shots and unrehearsed, whatever, and you edited a kick-ass video. I was really impressed with it. Yeah.
I mean, I think for someone like not knowing what they were doing and just starting out, I think it's pretty good. I mean, looking back, I'm like, fuck.
It's always like that, but no, it is an amazing video, and I would encourage you guys to watch it, because I think a lot of you are gonna watch it, and especially if you know how it was done, that it was just literally Young with the camera, just showed up there to this event, and he was able to produce a cool video like that. Because usually people who go to conventions, I find that they just document it, like they just show some interviews, you know, some people in costumes, but you made like a film out of it pretty much. So that's what was cool about it. So when you were starting on YouTube, then what were your, like, why did you start on YouTube? Was there a specific goal? You were just experimenting? Like,
I mean, yeah, I just saw people were starting to make a living doing YouTube, and I was just trying to figure myself out at the time. So I said to myself, I saw people doing, like, you know, Freddie Wong and Daystorm Powers at the time. They were literally just starting at the time.
Yeah.
And in my mind, I was just like, man, if they can do it, I guess so can I.
You worked actually later on with Freddie Wong, right? And with Daystorm,
I worked with Freddie. I saw him like a couple of weeks ago. But
so then, okay, so you were just kind of, I guess it was a few different reasons, but did you have any expectations of what's going to come out of YouTube? Like, did you think you're going to be a big YouTube star? Was that?
I gave myself 6 months to make it work.
Okay.
So I saved up money. I dabbled. I fully, like, invested all my time in doing YouTube full time. Like, taught myself After Effects, you know, and like on the aspect of filmmaking, literally working with you is everything I learned. So starting out, like, like learning how to edit properly, you know, like angles, like, you know, the 180, the basic rules, like, man, like even just how to direct, shoot, just camera work. Like, oh yeah, dude, you are like the reason I got started, like the big reason to what helped me get started, because I had no fucking clue, and you really guided me there. I was like, it's not just like, as you know, working together on YouTube, but we built a friendship off of that.
Yeah.
You know, so
but I mean, okay, so maybe you're saying, I guess I helped you learn from a technical point of view and all that stuff, but you had already I think a pretty cool original vision. Maybe you just didn't know how to bring it to the screen, and especially when your action, like the ideas you had with action, were really cool. Because I remember the first video that we did together, the Dragon Ball video. I was even like, sometimes you would tell me, oh, I want this to be like this kind of angle, and then we cut to this, and I was even sometimes going, how the hell is this gonna cut, man? Like I didn't quite always understand it, but I was like, okay, let's go with it, and yeah, I was amazed by the results too.
Yeah, like I think when I started, with anything, especially with anything to do with art, starting out on YouTube, it took a while for me to figure out who I was and what I wanted to show.
Okay.
And what kind of content I wanted to make. I had no clue. I tried everything. I tried like vlogs. I tried like comedy skits. Mm-hmm. And then I found my place in doing like little action stuff.
Now, so were you aiming, right, once you kind of established your little kind of niche, market there on YouTube, Were you aiming to kind of grow your channel, become like a big YouTuber, or were you thinking that's a stepping stone to doing everything?
I mean, yeah, the goal was to be able to do YouTube full time and you know, grow the channel. I never really felt the need to be famous or like it had to be me. So I just didn't have anyone else willing to do the videos like all the time consistently.
Well,
so
yeah, I think a lot of times I know people misunderstand YouTubers. They think that every YouTuber wants to be a celebrity. Me, for example, I hate being in front of the camera. I have to be here because, yeah, when you start a YouTube channel, I mean, you kind of have to be the face of the channel. Somebody has to be at least, and when you're starting out, it's just going to be you. So
yeah, exactly. So it was figuring that out, and it honestly, like, it started doing really well when I started getting like, you know, 1 million views on a couple of videos, but then I felt over time to make a living out of it, doing, you know, trying to make good quality work and get better every time.
It's hard to make a living on YouTube. That's what I think.
And
a lot of people don't understand that.
Your quality begins to suffer, and you're not able to. I wasn't able to create the vision that I wanted to because I was stuck on, oh, well, I have to create so many videos a month just to make a living, you know?
Yeah.
So, you know, as someone who wants to, like, for me, I treat action as art. It's an art form. That's why we call it action design. So I wanted to get better at that. And then that's kind of how I kind of began to transition into film unknowingly.
So how did that transition come about?
Sorry, can I jump? I just wanted to jump in for a moment, guys. Just wanted to add my kind of perspective, you know, being there and meeting Yang and seeing his early work too. Just remember seeing that Yang wanted to learn everything. Like you had so much energy, right? And you know, wanted to learn everything, FX, like everything. And which is really good. But for me, it was like, maybe you're like spreading yourself too thin. Are you going to be able to, you know, keep up with these, you know, hours of work and just get good at all these things? And you know, and you did. You got very good at some and good at others, right? And, you know, different levels. But that was amazing, and I think, you know, there's maybe sometimes people tell you, oh, you want to specialize in something and so on. But it was good, like, yeah, you really explored, and that the fact that you had so many ideas and tried so many things, it was really cool. And also, like, I can see in terms of like the business perspective, or actually, you know, making it where you're making your work into, you know, your passion into a business. I think it was good for you that you just tried a lot of things, because even though you didn't know exactly what will work out, but it sort of worked itself out. But if you didn't try so many things, you didn't like work on so many projects with different people, that probably wouldn't happen. Like, I know with Tom and me, like, also many of the things we do now, it's like we couldn't really know these things when we started. We had certain ideas. It never doesn't really work out exactly the way we thought. It was sort of like through the process, as you go about it, you kind of fumbling a little bit, you know, but eventually you get somewhere. And I think I kind of saw with you trying so many different things, that how it worked out. I'm sure it wasn't like the grand plan that you had from the beginning and exactly got to where you want. Probably was like a lot of, you know, different turns.
I mean, with that, I'll say to anyone out there who's thinking about pursuing anything in the arts, whether it's YouTube or whatever, and you're starting out, like, you're right, like, just do everything that you can and explore. Because when you get to the point where you are well known and you have a reputation, you can no longer try shit out because everyone's eyes are on you, and your reputation and job are on the line. So
yeah,
you know,
it's a lot more risky, basically, right? Once you're established.
Yeah, exactly. You know, it sucks. I always give respect to any well-known artists who really take the risk and try new things to develop themselves. And even if they fail, they need to do that as artists.
But like you said, once you're famous and everybody's watching you, then it makes it that much harder. And also you have this whole business built around you, and you're worried it's all gonna fall apart, and you're gonna affect other people's lives and all that stuff. So all right. So getting back to you, so you were like you said, so you were kind of exploring, trying out different things, thinking you're gonna be a YouTube star, and then how did you end up? Because I remember you started taking on some projects that are like you got me involved in some of them. You know, like I remember it was kind of stuff that was like with other YouTube channels, but also you were doing stuff for television, I believe, music videos you started directing, right? Stuff like that. Was that, again, kind of you fell into it? Or were you thinking, oh, maybe this is more interesting because again, making money on YouTube is very difficult?
Yeah, I kind of fell into it. I ended up working with some guys in Toronto, some stunt guys, because I wanted to get better at my choreography and stunt training and all that stuff. So I started training with some stunt professionals in Toronto. They're Team 2X. Those are the team. And through them, we began to work together. And one of the big videos that we did was Jedi Ninjas.
Yeah, amazing video. It's on your channel still, right?
That was a crazy experience. But yeah, so from that, they kind of brought me on to work on some music videos. It's like stunt coordinating as just like a part-time thing here and there whenever some gigs would come up and they wouldn't be able to do it themselves. So I would go out and do those jobs, and then they introduced me to Brad Allan.
Oh, they
For those of you who know who Brad Allan is he's the former Jackie Chan stunt team leader. And
you actually, sorry to interrupt you, you actually got a chance to meet Jackie Chan, right? I remember you were sending me some effect shots of Jackie Chan skydiving or something like that.
Oh, no. Well, I didn't meet him until much later.
Oh, okay,
I have met him twice in my life. Once was when I was like a teenager.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was like performing in Toronto, some Tai Chi on stage, and he was there performing as well.
But then later, you met him like for an actual face-to-face.
Like 2 years ago, I had dinner with him with Brad.
Okay.
Yeah, our team and his team together on the dinner table. It was really cool. I sat like almost right across from Jackie. He's a really interesting guy. But yeah, going back to the story. So I got introduced to Brad Allan. I didn't know who he was when I went, and then the 2X guys are like, "Oh, you should meet Brad. We're working on a movie right now. You should really meet him." And I'm just, at that time, I had no interest in film, like absolutely no interest. I was like, "Man, I'm doing YouTube," and so I'm like, "Man, all right, I might as well just give it a shot," because I'm one of those kind of people. I don't like to say no to opportunities, especially starting out. So I'm always more of like a yes man, just try it and see how it goes. So yeah, we go into this stunt stage, and then they're like, "Oh, we're working on this movie Pacific Rim," and I'm like, "Oh, probably some low budget film, like indie film. Sounds like shit." I didn't know who Brad was. He just asked me, "Hey, can you do this, and that?" It's a bunch of VFX stuff, and in my mind, I was like, "Nah," but I just said, "Yeah, I can do that." And the next day, I just helped do some VFX stuff for their Stunt-viz. For those of you who don't know what a Stunt-viz is, or a pre-viz, it stands for pre-visualization or stunt visualization. It's developing an action sequence before they shoot it. So like it's concepted on a stage with stuntmen, and the design of the edit, the camera work, and the choreography is all established before they go in to shoot it.
So in a way, you're kind of presenting like these, because I'm guessing you guys do alternate versions, and you present this to the director of the film, right?
Yes.
Like what you think would look cool.
Yeah, the concepts. So yeah, usually when they're doing storyboard animatics, the Stunt-viz or the pre-viz is put into the storyboard, and so they get a feel for the whole film.
And let me ask you another question. So like when you guys are doing this kind of pre-viz work, how often, like, do you find that the director of the film will come in and change a lot of it, or is it or put their own input into it, or is it kind of like they leave it up to you guys since you know action so well?
To be fair, I've only been in 2 films.
Okay.
And they're both an exception, because when Brad is brought onto a film, he's generally brought on because he has a very strong vision about his action, and he also has a on how would I put it? So on Kingsman 2, he was basically kind of trying to figure out Matthew's vision. They have their talk about what Matthew is looking for, and then Brad goes, okay, this, and that. Okay, got it. And then Brad goes off and does his thing. He goes and shoots it. So if it's when we conceptualize it in pre-production, we show Matthew, the director, hey, Brad will go, hey, this is what we've developed. What do you think? And then it'll go from there until we narrow it down to something everyone's happy with, and then shoot it.
All right.
So my part comes into play. At first, it started with mostly specializing in the design of any sequence involving a lot of visual effects. Because of my YouTube background and extensive work in VFX, that kind of became my expertise on the team. But we all contributed to everything, and we all pitch ideas for the scenes that we're working on, and then Brad's saying his best idea always wins. So, but we do have like a fight coordinator and another action designer. We have Chris Cowan, who is awesome. He's also on YouTube. He camera operates and he designs a lot of really cool sequences. And then we also have Guillermo Grispo, who choreographed the original Kingsman church scene.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Guillermo Grispo is awesome. He has a huge history working with Zack Snyder, like 300, Sucker Punch. He's an extensively amazing knowledge of all sorts of martial arts, and he's just great at shooting. He's a great director.
Now, does your team also have? Do you guys have like your own stunt guys and stuntmen, or that's something different?
I mean, depends on the needs of the project, but yeah, there are generally there are performers that we like to use.
And then they end up in the final film usually?
They usually, they'll end up in doubling. We usually, that we'll bring in people to be like doubles, and they'll be part of the core team. But yeah, and then, so it's cool. We all have like our different skill sets, and Brad's really smart about, using the different flavors that we bring into the table for different scenes.
So once you get a chance to work on Pacific Rim, was it like, did you fall in love with doing it right away, and were you like, okay, I want to do more of this kind of stuff, or?
Know what I was doing, man.
Oh, yeah.
I wasn't sure. I was just trying to get it done. At the time, I was like, shit. I was just like, fuck, all the way through, and just figuring it out on the spot, literally. And then it was so strange. Like, I thought I was like not doing a very good job, and then Brad, after I finished, it was just like 2-3 days, just helping out like, and I didn't know how he was gonna even get paid. He paid me a lot of money. I was like, oh shit, people actually get paid for this stuff. and then
such a difference from YouTube, right?
Yeah, and then from then and there, he offered me, hey, I work on these Hollywood films, all the time. I'd like to invite you to work with me and travel the world to design action for Hollywood films. Is that something you're interested in? And I was like, nah, it's okay. I want to do YouTube. That's what I'm doing right now.
Oh yeah, that's what you told him? Huh?
Him down, yeah.
Oh, okay.
But I said I really enjoyed working with you. I learned a lot on this particular like side job, and any small gigs you have for me, please let me know. I'm willing to help. So I just over like the next 3 years, from 2011 to like 2014, I started just doing some side VFX concept stuff for him whenever he needed. And then I got kind of sick of YouTube. I got tired of it, and it just wasn't. I felt I wasn't growing creatively, professionally. It was really frustrating, and also not making enough money to make ends meet. It's tough.
It's tough. It's tough.
Cool.
Like because a lot of times people, I think, they hear stories of like the top people on YouTube, and those are people who have branded deals and the big sponsorships, and then they're also averaging I don't know 50, 60 million views or more per month. In that case, you can make a decent, really very good living. But if you're like majority, like over 80 something, I forgot percent of YouTube channels get less than 1 million views per month, that's not enough to make a living, like not even for one person. So that's, I think, something that people don't realize. Even though you're doing great work, like I know you're doing great stuff, but basically for from what I understand, the difficulty was because I remember you wanted to do more epic, bigger videos, but to that you had to spend more time, and so you could only have maybe one video every 2 months or something like that. And even if that video got you 1 million views, it just still wasn't enough, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it was a really frustrating point. And so at that time, I just emailed Brad and I said, hey, is that an offer you gave me like 3.5 years ago still up? And he's like, yeah, sure.
Oh, okay.
And then, I kind of tested me on a few things here and there. And then for like the next 2 years, just to
So your first official project then, because I know that's what I mean. Over the years, you were showing me different things you were doing, and I didn't know that was in the capacity of just kind of helping him out. But when was your first official film that you worked on, like as part of the crew and everything then? Was it Kingsman then?
Yes, it was Kingsman 2 Golden Circle.
Okay.
So it was it was good because we got to build our relationship and trust.
Mm-hmm. And right after that film, I remember seeing you on Rocket Jump, whatever.
No, this is before. This is before Kingsman Golden Circle.
Oh,
so
okay.
During that time, when I decided to kind of abandon my YouTube channel, I decided to kind of establish myself more as an action designer, an action guy, action director, kind of within my peers. So I began to, approach.
You work with Freddie Wong, like you designed all the action for him, right?
Yeah. So, I worked with Rocket Jump, Clint Punisher on YouTube, Clinton Jones. He works with Freddie a lot. We became really good pals, and he's like, "Hey, I'm directing this Kingsman short for Freddie's channel, and dude, it'd be so awesome to just work together on something." So I was like, "Hell yeah!" So then I helped like choreograph and design the action based off of my discussion with Clint on kind of his vision, and then brought it to life.
Oh, okay. And then after that, I guess you just kind of decided that was it, right? Like when it comes to YouTube and stuff. You just went full time, I guess, working on films, right?
Well, even before that, after the Kingsman one, I also helped develop action designs their Hulu, some action bits for their Hulu show as well.
Oh, okay.
For Freddie's Hulu show. So that gave me some experience kind of doing it on my own. I also did like a web series as well, or like a short film as well that I actually acted in, but let's not talk about that.
All right, okay. Lucas, are there any questions from people?
There's a couple of questions. Okay, so here we've got, do you guys do storyboards as well for stunts, or is it just the previs?
We work with the storyboard artists. So they're it's not going to be in our department. We'll work with them. And so oftentimes the storyboard artists will have an idea and we'll basically collaborate on it and make sure everyone's on the same page and then develop it. I mean, there's only so much you can do in storyboards. So
I was going to say, I think because you guys do usually video animatics, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's a mix. There's storyboard animatics, and then there's Stunt-viz, and then there's also previs, like stuff from the Third Floor. I don't know if anyone's familiar with that company. They do a lot of previses. This is like rough CG animated blockings what the movie is going to look like, and they do whole scenes. They've done a lot of Marvel films, they do Star Wars. So we work with those guys as well. But I mean, oftentimes it's just hard to, you know, for people to go, okay, I want the action to look like this, and just crazy, like stylized, choreographed stuff. You can't 3D animate it quickly enough, and you can't draw it to tell a story. It's really difficult.
So you guys so you guys just do these kind of little like videos. You shoot them, edit them, and everything, right?
Yeah, we shoot, we edit, everything, and we plan accordingly. And it's a very much a collaborative effort. You know, we work with the storyboard artists, we work with the VFX supervisors as well. So everything's all planned together, and everyone's on the same page.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not definitely, at least the way we do it, it's very much collaborative. I think kind of an example I can use is when I did acting in as an elective during university, and we were doing improv, and the prof was kind of pissed off that our improv was shit because he said, you guys are all trying to bring your own ideas in to the scene, and you're not listening to each other, and you're not listening to what the other person's bringing into the scene. And it's killing the scene that you're doing because everyone's trying to bring the bigger voice and be the on the spotlight, right? Everyone wants their idea to shine. But what you guys fail to see is that improv is about building on what is given to you. You don't try and bring.
You gotta react more then.
Yeah, it's more reacting and building. It's not like, oh, let's say we're improvising and I'm pretending that this cup is a sword, and all of a sudden you're like, no, that's not a sword. It's a gun. It's like, no, but this is a sword. No, you know, it kills the scene. So in that sense, we bring something to the table, and we all like to build on top of it and really level up the base idea until it's something really special.
Okay, Lucas, any other questions?
Well, one thing, because here a question about the whether you used After Effects when making the Pacific Rim visual effects.
Yeah. It was a Stunt-viz, so it was with like two stunt guys, one dressed up as like a robot, and one dressed up as like kaiju. So it was like really rough blocking, but that was where the whole concept of the blade and how he stabs the kaiju in the movie came about was through Brad's action concept. And yes, I use After Effects. I still use After Effects a lot, and it's I've used it so much that it's pretty much feels like it's an extension of my body.
Wow.
Like
Okay.
I can use After Effects as well as I can move my fingers. It just feels that natural now.
Wow.
But before
I can add to it that I did just the graphics, but not the actual like special effects of the robots, but on Pacific Rim, but the HUD displays, because the film was shot in Toronto, and the company the company that was doing the set design, like the actual set buildings, they needed to have a lot of the graphics for their monitors and things like that already there, like physically. So that's what me and like a few other designers and animators in Toronto did. So that was in a way ended up being in the final film, but it was done in After Effects. Anything else?
Yeah.
But I imagine most of the effects for the final effects that actually were in the movie were not done in After Effects.
No. Yeah, I mean it's different once you go to post. They mostly like those houses you use Nuke.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. You were actually, because it was ILM, right? That did that effects. Was it ILM or?
On Star Wars, yeah, I worked with ILM.
Yeah. Okay. So they use Nuke also, or they have their own proprietary software?
Yeah, they use Nuke.
Yeah. Okay.
But they also have their own custom stuff built into those programs.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. We've got a couple of questions. Well, one is like very broad, but basically, so here Anya Lescari says, I want to become a full-time filmmaker, but how do I get hired for action stunts? Can you give any advice?
how do you get hired for action stunts?
Yeah, if you want to be actually doing action stunt, how do you get started? So
how do you get started? Well, it's different if you want to be like an action director versus a stunt. But I guess it kind of takes, it all starts knowing stunts first. So I guess it's hard to get started. My opinion, there's two ways you can go about your career. You can either network a lot and go to all the parties and just try and, you know, connect with people and build yourself that way. Or you can just be really fucking good at what you do and train really hard, and then people are going to notice you. I think that is the easiest way in it. But I guess my advice is train really, really hard at martial art, whatever martial arts you want to learn, and then find people or find the gyms where all the stunt people are training at, and just work really, really hard and learn from them. You know, just observe and just train really hard. And then start making videos like yourself with friends or whatever, and just make stuff and perform. And what people, especially the mistake a lot of people do when they want to get into like fight stuff, is they just work on the fighting and the choreography, but they never learn how to take reaction hits. So like when you get hit, how to take a reaction, how to fall. There's so many different types of falls in stunts. It's like it becomes its own language. There's a really good video called Jackie Chan My Stunts. I'd suggest you watch it. It'll take you kind of through the ABCs of stunt falls. And that's the stuff that you're gonna get hired for. Majority of the time, I would say if a stunt person is working year round, 85% of that is doing falls and doing wrecks and doing reaction hits. Maybe 10 to 15%, sometimes even 5% of it is actual like cool fighting martial arts stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Do you recommend this type of work, actually being a stunt person?
Do I recommend being a stuntman? Personally, I don't want to. I never sought to be a stuntman. I always wanted to be part of, like, in control of my own creative work, and that's the only reason why I learned to perform, and just for you know, just to know as a filmmaker. But it depends on what makes you happy. You know, it is a risky job. There's stunt people die all year round, all the time. And
still today?
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean, last year was terrible year for stunt performers. We had this woman on Deadpool die. She passed away. She was doing a motorcycle stunt. I've heard some horror stories. I know someone got their lung stabbed on what was that, Fury?
So is that kind of in a way like people you know, expect that sooner or later somebody's like, because I guess everybody's pushing it more and more, right? Trying to do crazier stuff.
Yeah, I mean, but that's why stunts is all about safety. Like the stunt coordinator's job is safety, making sure everyone's safe.
Yeah, but from what you're saying, then it's only up to a certain point. I mean, if you want to do something, well, it's not like you're doing something that's like, oh, okay, it's totally safe. Like there is always risk involved, right? Yeah,
there's always a risk involved, no matter what. And oftentimes injuries come from really simple stuff. But yeah, it's there's a risk factor. So are you willing to risk your life or your physical health for the job? If that's what fulfills you, if being a stuntman fulfills you and it pays really well, then by all means do it. I have tons of friends who are stunt professionals and they do okay, but everyone acknowledges the risk.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Here, in terms of going back to the After Effects, can you recommend any resources that people can use if they want to learn to do effects in After Effects for film?
Oh man, Video Copilot.
I was gonna say the same thing. Video Copilot's the best.
Yeah. That's all you need, really.
Yeah.
I would suggest do that. Start the basics. Don't try and get too crazy. Learn the basics and literally keep doing the basics until you can do them without having to look back at the tutorial. And then also don't just copy the tutorial. Try and create something yourself using the knowledge you learn from the tutorial.
Yeah.
That's a much better way of learning, because then you also get to start learning the creative aspect of the job.
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, if you figure out and you know what are all the tools in After Effects, and you know how to use them, and what kind of things you can do with them, then after that it's just you come up with ideas. Then it's just literally, if you have a cool idea, it's like, oh, I want to do this shot where somebody's flying through the clouds. You'll know, okay, how I can do it.
Yeah, exactly. It becomes really easy.
All right, here I want to throw a question at you, Young. So, what sort of plans do you have for a career? Like, what's next ahead for you in terms of maybe concrete projects you're planning to do? If you can disclose them, maybe not. And then, but also like, you always try to develop more, to have a lot of creative control. So, what are you working towards?
I am working towards hopefully becoming a writer. Write some feature films. That's what I'm trying to learn right now. I've been doing a lot of like screenwriting courses online, and reading a lot of books. And yeah, that's hopefully what I'm trying to do. Is the goal, the end goal is to eventually be a writer, director, maybe even producer for my future films.
Does that mean you're abandoning the action design and all that stuff?
No. I'm still gonna be doing all of that. Like this next film project that I'm on currently, well, slated to be on right now, I would be part of like story development, and as well as the action design from pre-production, and I'll also be a part of post-production. So I'll be I love the whole filmmaking process, so I just want to get involved as much as I can, and hopefully I'll be able to write a decent enough script that it'll get made, my movie made. But some ideas that I have, I don't necessarily want to direct, and I don't have that right vision for, so I just want to write it. And some things I feel really attached to, I can see it all, and I would like to direct them, so it's just the process of learning. I'm still really, really new to writing. It's really hard. And it doesn't come easy or natural to me. But it's something that I'm gonna keep pushing. And I'll still be involved in the action.
We're almost at the end of the show, so I do have one more question actually for Young. But maybe for this week's contest, maybe Young, you can help us pick the winner. We're giving away basically. People can select gear from B&H up to this week is what's the price, Lucas?
$300.
Up to $300 this week. Okay, and how do we do it? How can Young help? And just
hold on. So I'm going to share my screen right now.
Okay.
If I can find the correct window here.
And for those of you while Lucas is doing that who don't know what this is Gear Tips. You can check out the link in the description of the videos. Like I said, every week we give away, gear up to $500, and it changes depending on the week. All you have to do is literally leave a comment on our website, and you get a chance to just pick any piece of gear there from that list of over 4,500 products. That's as easy as that. So last week we gave away $500 price. This week is $300, Lucas says, and yeah, here we can see your screen.
I just wanted to say that the last week was Joe Manning who won the Laxley cello. He picked the Laxley cello 10-inch light, and so yeah, he received it. He let us know that he received it, and he's happy with it so far. And okay, so here for today, Young. So basically, we need you to pick if you could please pick a number between 1 and 90, and then when I put this number in here, then we will get to see the winner. So
okay, so it's totally
it's high tech now.
Okay.
I didn't even know that you could do this.
I'm using a spreadsheet.
Yeah, because last week I was drawing a pieces of paper like that. That's how low tech it was.
We're stepping it up.
Yeah. All right. So a random number
between 1 and 90. Yeah.
1 and 9. I'm gonna say 12.
12. All right. So the big winner of the $300 prize is Joseph Odney.
Oh, congrats, Joseph! Then.
Okay, nice. Yeah.
So up to $300 prize, you get to pick from B&H. So Lucas will get in touch with you, and yeah, hopefully enjoy your prize. Last week, Joe Manning got he picked the Laxley light, right? I believe.
Right, the cello light.
The cello, that really cool light. Full RGB LED light you can control with your phone. So yeah. Anyways, waiting to see what kind of prize you pick this week. And again, well, guys, if you want to enter next week or following weeks and all that stuff, again, in the description, follow the link to Gear Tips and Very simple. Just again, leave a comment on our website and then submit to the contest. All right. So my question, Yang, for you is your last film, right? Was the Han Solo.
Yeah.
I heard some good and bad things about it. How was your experience on working on the film? I know you're a Star Wars fan, right?
I am.
Was it like you're, despite of whatever the critics are saying, I'm saying for you, having to finally work on a Star Wars, legit Star Wars film after doing, I mean, you did some amazing Star Wars fan films.
Fan films, yeah. And then I ended up doing the real thing.
Yeah.
The experience was, okay, I would say it was really long because because obviously, most people may know, by the time we shot like 70% of the film, like Phil and Chris, the original directors, were removed and replaced by Ron Howard, and then we had to do a lot of reshoots. So it just felt a bit demoralizing that we would have to like start again.
Oh, okay.
But aside from that, I would say the experience was really positive. I got to work with some of the greatest people in the industry, like some amazing costume designers. Rob Barreto, VFX supervisor. I learned so much working closely with him. He's now president of ILM. Oh. I got to work very closely with, Brad, obviously again. And, we got another chance to work with a team like Chris and Guillermo, and some of the great stunt people that we had on board. It was great working with I guess even the producers on that as well. Well, the co-producers, Simon and Emmanuel, and then Ali Shemer as well, although she passed away lately, so it's too bad about that. But I just learned so much. We had a great storyboard artists, all the people at third floor. It was really crazy. I got so involved, and I got to be out all the editors as well. I got to work in the editorial.
A big team, right? Working on a film like that.
Yeah, huge. It's massive, man. It's absolutely gigantic. So on every level, I was really fortunate to get to work with some of the best people. And
most importantly, did you get a chance to work with Chewbacca?
Yes, we did. Yes,
you met Chewbacca. So. All right.
We got to work with Chewbacca. I personally I worked quite a bit with Tandy Newton for her scene.
Okay.
It was really overall a really great experience. I really enjoyed working with Donald Glover.
Okay.
He, hands down, him and Alden were like hands down hardest working people on the set.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they really, really physically especially Donald really tried to do everything himself. And Alden did some great stuff himself as well. I mean, I gotta give it to them. And Donald was just like very gracious and talked to everybody,
So he was willing to do risky actual stunts and stuff?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Both of them. Alden did some crazy stuff. Yeah. I was really, really surprised. So that was really cool to see people, especially like Donald, because he's quite well known.
Mm-hmm.
People are quite fanatic about his work as a musician and an actor.
Yeah, I was gonna say the new music video he did was kind of crazy.
Yeah, so I gotta hand it that guy. He's super smart.
Yeah,
very nice guy. And just loves doing his work and being there to do a good job. Mm-hmm. It's great working with people like that.
Yeah, cool. So, people who are not there just for the paycheck, right?
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Lucas, any other last questions?
No, I have one question for myself. I wanted to ask.
Oh, okay.
So now that, do you think what you've done, achieved as in the design of action, is it this going to help you to transition to writing? Writing other roles, or is it something where people will? Sorry.
Somebody has another question. All right. Anyways, yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry. Is it going to be, sometimes people get pigeonholed and then they'll say, oh, you are the action, guy, and they don't want to give you a chance to do other roles? Or do you think it's actually going to help you that you've become very good at one thing in Hollywood?
Well, I think I'm lucky. I think I'm lucky because I'm still really new to the industry, so I can still make a name for myself and kind of frame myself in the way that I want to. And what all of this experience has given me is kind of like a foot in the door. And I don't know. To me, it never bothered me. I always believe if I know I'm doing something good and I have something good, then it's going to attract people. You know, so that sort of thing has never concerned me too much. But yeah, I also do. I have been at a point which like I got too well known for just doing VFX only. And I kind of stepped away from doing VFX jobs for a long time in order to establish myself more for action and stunts. So that's what I had to do to get away from that kind of. Because I agree. People always try and pigeonhole you into whatever they think you are, but you know, as you know, you owe it to yourself, and this is to anybody out there to just do you and not really care, to be frankly, not give any fucks.
Yeah, I mean it's a hard thing to do. I know, especially people who are like, once you establish yourself, like you said, in something that maybe you don't it's not the biggest passion of yours, but you're making money doing it, and then suddenly you want to like establish yourself doing something else, then it's difficult because you kind of have to giving up that income stream and just, you know, the comfort of knowing at least that area, right, that expertise.
Yes, but I'll say, like, no matter what you do, even if you're going to do the same thing, unless you're someone like Steven Spielberg, you're always going to have to prove yourself to people, no matter what job you do. And that's always going to be the case in this industry. So I think if you just are good at what you do and you've done a good job or you have a good script, people will pay attention. You know, no one's going to sideline you if they see something is there. You know, it's different when you're shit and you're like, I got something, and then they look at it and they're like, well, and then you kind of fuck up your chance, because then they only... It's the first impressions are really important. So if you're deciding to reach out, okay, I have the chance to reach out to James Cameron, you know, make sure if you're going to James Cameron that whatever you got and you're taking to him is fucking good. Yeah. Because if it's not, if he sees you as shit, he will always see you as shit. Yeah. Just to be frank.
Yeah, it's true. First impressions always matter. So
yes.
All right, I think that's it for the show, Lucas. Right? I think we went a little bit over time, but unless there's any other big questions, if not, you know, if you guys have follow-up questions, you can also leave them in the comments. I'll try to get Young to go in the comment section, or at least through me answer some of those questions later. And Lucas, any other questions, last words?
That's all. Thank you, Young. We haven't had a chance to talk for a long time, so it was a nice chance to catch up a little bit.
Yeah. Maybe I'll see you in LA. I'm heading out there soon. So, all right. So, anyways, that's it, guys. Thank you once again. If you want to enter for the weekly giveaway, then just follow the links in the description of this video. Otherwise, thank you guys for joining us here, and we'll see you next week. Bye.
Awesome.
Bye.
Bye.